WKNJ 90.3 FM, Union, New Jersey 07083. We back up in the building with Torae. We got into
Yeah.
I love that last one we spun. The name of it's called New Day? Or?
Yeah, New Day, produced by the Beat Miners. Big shout out to Evil D and Walt, whole Bushwick.
I must say, when you rhyme, a lot of you, and what I like about you is you're very pictorial when you rhyme. You can actually see what the people talking about Fulton Street, and talking about CI down by the beach. Everybody,
Right.
Ball Lake, Marbury. I mean, a lot of stuff you can actually we're seeing the pictures. You can be like, all right, wow. And I think that as an MC, when telling a story, you have to be pictorial, and you have to. The people need to know what you're talking about.
You want people to be able to visualize what you're saying. It's like you're giving them a movie, or a scene. You're trying to paint a picture and paint a scene, so you want to be as descriptive as possible. So when they zone out to it, they're like, yeah, I feel like I'm right there. I see that, So.
And also being from Brooklyn, I mean, a lot of times when we think of Coney Island, the first thing that comes to mind is the amusement park and the beach. I mean, just out of Brooklyn, they're known for having the MCs. I mean, the MCs is known for coming from like Brownsville, Bushwick, Bed-Stuy, everybody from over there. Like, do you feel like it's a task or it's harder because you're on the other side?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think I put it down enough work at this point that people now know that Coney Island is also known for this Torae guy. But shout out to like Nims and my man Liaison and D Chambers, and it's a bunch of guys out there now doing their thing and making their own mark. You know what I'm saying? But I started this. No, let me stop.
So, but other than we know that you're a great MC. I know you went to school. You were to become a school teacher. What else do you do other than rapping? And I know you're an educated man, so I know you like to read. So other than rapping and reading, what else do you like to do?
I'm just a regular guy, man. I like sports.
You a fan of the Nets now?
Absolutely not. I'm a Knick. I've been a Knick my whole life. I don't foresee that changing anytime soon. I'm orange and blue. I will be at that opener, though. I definitely want to be in the building for that. That's going to be electric. I got 2 kids, man. I'm a family man. I chill with the kids and the lady. And, I'm a regular guy that, my profession is an MC, but it doesn't overtake what my life is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my get up at 9 to 5, and I love it, and I live it, and I breathe it. But at the same time, you got to be able to step away from it and enjoy your life as well. Because before you know it, it'll be all over. And you'll be like, damn, what did I have to do?
So I know you got a chance on the album. You got to work with legendary MCs like Master Ace and working with Primo. Did you ever think that this would happen? And I mean, also when it did happen, was it still shocking, or were you numb to it, or?
When I'm living through the moments, man, it's so hard to actually understand what's happening because you're right there at the time and place. And, big shout out to my whole team, like my homies and cats I grew up with, because they always take me back to, dude, we was sitting in front of the building, like, putting our chains together to go buy a Gangstar album. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you in the studio with Preem. Like, you cool with Ace. Like, that's your homie. Like, you know what I mean? We used to share that tape. So, like my homie Ski, man, he was right there with me the whole time. So he always kind of brings me back to reality, just because, like, when I'm living through it, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm in the studio with Sean Price, or I'm on tour with Ace, or, I'm doing this song with Pete Rock, whatever, and I'm just, it's just a normal thing for me. But he's like, dude, you understand what you just said? Like, you got a Pete Rock, Premier, Large Pro, Diamond D, you know what I mean? Knots, like, all these guys on your debut album. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? So when I step back and look at my body of work and what I've been able to contribute and what I've been able to put out there, it's definitely surreal.
And when I hear you rhyme, I see it now. Were you ever just like the battle scene circuit? Were you ever battler before the whole? Because now the whole thing is now the battle leagues. Do you feel like? Do you ever? Because I know you have a lot of people who make it to a certain point and they regress, try to start battling to get a name or do it for the money. Right. Because in the battle circuit now, in some cases, not all, some of these battle MCs, they can't get more doing battles than they are getting shows.
Right.
Do you ever say like maybe I should step into the arena of being a battle MC or?
Nah, that's not my thing. I mean, when I came up, that was the element of it. Like, I would go outside and, sometimes you display rhymes and spit back and forth and battle, but I was never like, I always wanted to make songs. I always wanted to make songs that I could perform, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to just being able to kind of insult somebody lyrically. I wanted to be able to, like I stated before, paint pictures and put out records, you know what I'm saying, and do songs that would move the crowd to give people something to think about, or even be life-altering type songs. So, The battling thing was never really my thing. You know, I did it because it's a rite of passage coming up. You know, you gotta go chew somebody up real quick, but it never was what I was focused on.
Okay. And I know you've gotten the chance to finally go to Europe to go on tour. And what was the experience like when you went to Europe?
Europe, you know what? I'm so spoiled. Like, I came in the game, honestly, tour, like, big shout again to Master Ace. He took me on my first tour. This is back in 2008. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my first tour, I went to Europe for a month. My first time ever going anywhere. It was 26, 27 shows in Europe, you know, in full rooms. Because Master Ace, you know, he's a vet.
Over there,
right,
and especially in Europe,
right.
he's like...
Yeah, he's the dude over there. So we doing 500 people rooms and 600 people rooms, and we doing these outdoor festivals with 10 and 15,000 people. And it's me getting my feet wet, but with Ace saying, this is somebody you should listen to, and then having the 2 premiere records at that time, before we did For the Record, having those 2 records, you know, it made people pay attention, because they're like, well, Ace ain't going to bring him, and Primo ain't going to do a song for him if he's not good. So it was able to, like, I kind of jump-started, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to kind of skip the line almost, and didn't really have to go through the whack rooms and the whack shows. I was able to get out there and knock out, and I've been going every year since. You know, I get out to Europe probably like once or twice a year, every year, and rock out. So. And how are
when I say how are the fans over there as compared to here? Because I understand the fans are fans. Whereas here in the East Coast, everybody will tell you, "Yo, Torae, I like your music, but I'm a DJ or I'm a rapper."
Right.
And everyone's like, "Yo, if you like my music, tell me what you think and if you like it, let's collab, man." Because you don't find. I mean,
this guy's good. He knows.
It's true. You don't even because I throw shows as well. And you don't have, and it's sad, but on the come up, you don't have fans. Like there's no. Not that people don't have fans, and they might genuinely like your music, but everybody's trying to get their way in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it like that in Europe, like how it is over here in the States?
I mean, if it is like that, they never let on to it. You know, they get out there, they buy merch, they got their hands in the air. You don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, they go out there to enjoy the show. And I do think a large majority of them are just fans of the music. You know, I'm sure there's some aspiring artists in the audience, but you would never know because they come out there and they just leave it all out there, you know, as a fan, man. They salute and support you, and they know the lyrics, and even if they don't speak the language, you know what I'm saying, they can mouth the words of your songs, which is amazing to me. So when I'm out there, I feel a full fan vibe. I don't get to slide me the tape. Like maybe once or twice in the show, somebody might say, yo, I got beats, but for the most part, you know, everybody out there just genuinely want to come out and pay their $20 or €20, whatever it is, and see a good show.
Okay. So, I mean, and also, is not to go off track, but how's the food over there in Europe? Is the food, how is it? Is the food, because I've heard some of the food over there could be nasty.
It depends on who you are. You know, like, when I go over there with Marco, he definitely makes it his business to go out and eat, and, you know, he's a foodie like that. He's Italian, so he thinks Europe is superior anyway. Me, my first tour, I came back, I was 271 pounds, because I was eating, like, all I knew was Burger King, and I was like, well, that's all I'm eating, because that's all I trust. You know, but so now when I go over there, I try to eat a little more healthy, bring, you know, like things I could bring, like oatmeal and stuff like that. But generally, you know, like the food in Italy is good. I just came back from Thailand. I was out in Thailand last month, and I shot a video while I was out there. The food in Thailand was pretty good, you know, so I guess it depends on where you go. I got like a cast iron stomach, so I can pretty much eat whatever.
Okay. So what do you make of the hip-hop scene over here in the U.S., though? Because as I just mentioned, the way how things are, like... Do you get that over here when you're at a show like maybe in the Carolinas or in Virginia? They'll be like, well, yo, can you slip this over to Primo for me? Let's get a Primo track, man.
Yeah, I think in the States, pretty much a lot of the concert goers are people who are aspiring, you know, to be artists, and I guess that was me too at one point. You know, like even though I went to the show and I was a fan of the artist, you know, I knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to perform as well. So I understand that, you know, but it's a time and place for everything. So, you know, like if you come into the show, just respect the show aspect, and if there's an opportunity to chop it up or kick it, or if you feel like, you know, we've gotten to a point where you could pass some things on, you know, but don't just be like super overzealous or OD, because then that's like an automatic turn off. Like if I just got off stage and I got a towel and I'm soaking wet and I'm trying to make it, I'm not going to take your CD, not because I'm being an ass, but just because that's not the right time. You know what I'm saying?
And one thing I can say, you are a tremendous performer, because I see you when you get off that stage, you're sweating.
Yeah,
that's
the
what an
hat
MC
is
supposed to
ruined,
do.
the shirt is over, the hat is ruined, you know what I mean? My waistline is crazy, so I definitely need to retreat and gather myself and freshen up, and then I come out and sign whatever and listen to whatever, and you know what I mean. Sometimes I even entertain a verse or two, but you know, it's all about presenting it at the right time so that you don't get, you know, the door shut.
And I know you had the radio show on Sirius Radio. You do it. Shout out to DJ Eclipse and also shout out to J57, the homie.
Absolutely. I've been on Sirius like 2.5, maybe 3 years now. But big shout out to Eclipse. It was his show. You know, he was doing it with someone else, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out. And I had been a guest on the show a few times, and he was like, I feel like you can bring something to the table. You know, I feel like, not today, I'm stumbling over my words just because I'm tired. I ain't sleeping like 3 days. But, you know, he was like, I think you can bring something to the table. You articulate. I think you have a great rapport with a lot of the guests. And, you know, I would like to try you on the show. And I went up there. I did like maybe 3 or 4 shows. And I was like, I'm not leaving. You can't get rid of me now.
Yeah, so I mean, but yeah, that's it. I mean, I've known you from the Fat Beef days and to see where you are now. It's a good feeling to see guys like you do well. And I want to say thank you for coming through.
No doubt. Thanks for having me. Sorry it took so long.
It's okay. Nothing. Yeah, just don't be a stranger now. Come back.
Whenever I'm at Ace's house, I just stop by. I was in the crib. I was like, man, like I ate dinner. I worked out. Like I had a full weekend. Like I said, I ain't sleeping like 2 days. I had a real full weekend. My mom is getting married, so
congratulations!
Yeah, big shout out to
You're
mom.
giving her away?
Married. Now, yeah, absolutely. Next weekend. So the whole weekend was like running around and doing this, and you know, just being a son and just being a regular person outside of rap. And I hadn't slept, so I was in the crib. I worked out today, and I was wild tired. And I was like, yo, I got this interview tonight, and I was like, I absolutely will not miss it. So I had to suck it up and make sure I made my way out here. So. Definitely appreciate you for having me.
Of course. Don't be a stranger. Come back. And you're going to stick around and do a little freestyle for us?
I'm going to try my best.
All right.
So rhyme good.
Perfect. Ear to the streets every Monday night, 9 to midnight. Torae, thank you for coming through again. You know, don't be a stranger. You're going to stick around and do a freestyle for us. And we get into another joint, you know, maybe get into a joint or two.
Can I plug one thing?
Sure.
I have my phone in my hand for a reason, not just because I'm a jerk. Next Monday... We got the Sirius is Canty event.
We plugged that at the Highline Ballroom.
Yeah, at the Highline Ballroom.
Rozelle, OC, Large Pro, JS1.
Yes.
You know JS1 came up. He was the first guest DJ on our show.
Was he?
Yeah.
Was he an ornery bastard like he is when he's on my show?
No, he was the best. He's the best. I mean, he'll tell you like it is.
Absolutely. Nah, I love JS, man. He shoots so straight. But yeah, man, it's for kids. It's for children's cancer. It's at the Highline Ballroom in New York City. Next Monday the 27th, like they said, Large Pro, myself, Rozelle, JS1, a lot of surprise guests, OC, Sadat X, and a bunch of people that I can't name, but it's definitely a great show and for a good cause, so make sure you make your way out.
I'm going to pay my money at the door because I don't have a problem paying, but can I get backstage?
You gotta talk to the guys about that, man. I'm just a pedestrian that night.
Alright. Air the streets every Monday night, 9 to midnight.